friends, thanks for stopping by. I hope you're all well. Today I'm going to do my Christmas garland, or one of them anyway, so that I'll bring you along. If you're looking to do Christmas wreaths, please check out my other video and I'll put an end card on here of my Christmas wreath, which is huge. And I'm going to make another one this year, but I thought I won't do another wreath video because last year's video is really good. It'll save you probably £125, and that's the price in the florist for that size. It's absolutely huge and it makes a real statement piece on your front door, and you can obviously change the decoration, but it's making it from scratch just with wire and building it up with some fake foliage, but also adding your fresh foliage from the woods or the forest or wherever you can go, or in your back garden, etc., and adding it bit by bit to make a real beautiful fresh looking wreath. So I hope you'll check that video out because yeah, it's a good one. And also please hopefully enjoy this one. If you're new here, welcome. Nice for you to stop by, and also please consider subscribing. I do a lot of making and baking, cooking, recycling, upcycling, using things and making them for different seasons throughout the year, and often using most of what I've got, but also thrifting things as well. So if that's your interest, hopefully you'll enjoy what I make, and it's lovely to hear from you. So please comment below where you're from and what part of the world you are, and if you've got any top tips to share with other YouTube watchers, please leave them in the comments below. So let's get on with this garland. Right, so the first thing, you need to get things started. So you need lots of wire, and what I do is I use very heavy duty thick wire from the garden centres, and these wires are very, very thick and strong, ideal for binding and holding weight because it's going to get very heavy, this. So make sure you get your thickest wire that you can find. You can bend green or silver. I mean, the green one's great because it blends in easier, but this silver one I've used to put on the outside when I'm dressing the window as well. Just use up what you can find. This will obviously be concealed with all the foliage as well. And I've also got more as backup, and as you can see, it bends as well. It's nice and thick. We've also got some more. This is ideal, it's much thinner, and this is good for making up your little posies and foliage. You can get these from florists, and then also this green twine as well. The problem with that is when you knot it, it comes undone. That's what I use. And so what I've got is a basic garland that I got from the thrift store, and what I've done is I've wired it together. These were 3 lengths. Now, if you haven't got this, that's fine. Just use what you can do is you can get an old Christmas tree, and people are just giving them away, and chop them all down, which I've done here, into bits, okay? And then you can use these and wire them up individually. Take longer, but you know, use what you've got. So yesterday I've started again to do my wreath, and you'll see, I'll just show you, it's huge. Absolutely huge. The basic is the wire, just like 7 pieces of wire bound all together, and then I've started to get these fake garland pieces and then sticking Christmas tree parts in all around, and then I will just keep adding to it, adding it up, building so it gets bigger and bigger, and secure it all in. I'll put some white lights on. I'm going to come back to that, but I'm not going to film that one because obviously there is a video on that, but please check it out if you're going to make your garland this year. I always put the lights on early doors and then build it up. So let's get back to the garland today. As it's going to be so huge, it's going to be quite difficult to film. So what I've done with this, it's been quite good. And if you haven't got it this year, go in the sales just after Christmas when they're reducing it and buy some cheap plain green garlands, you know, fake, so that you can hold and keep these as a base, because it will make your life much easier. This one will be much easier than the others because it's got a lot of wire in it already. So if you haven't got that, like I say, get yourself wire. You can get these in the pound shop, or just go and get yourself an old Christmas tree in a charity shop and then cut it up, because you'll get a lot for your money then that way. You'll measure the length of the wire to what you require, and then you need to start just binding. Do it about 6 pieces for your garland, get the full length, and then you start binding this on. And you can just wrap it round like so that it's going all the way around the wire, and you'll have to do that all the way to the length that you require, and then start putting things on it. Now if you've got a wood and you can collect pine cones, then you can glue stick your pine cones or twist wire through them, which will be probably better, and then fix it on like so. And then lots of picks about in the garden centres. Sometimes you can pick some things up like this in a charity shop if you're lucky, but generally speaking you have to buy these new, but you're going to use them for several years and they will last. And with each pick you can cut these down at least to 3, and then again twist them on, and you're building it up. But do the greenery first and then start adding little bits in as you go along, and just cut this off, and then with some wire it on and secure it, going the same direction all the way round, building it up with whatever you've got. The more greenery the better, and then you can start gluing, or ideally using wire, fixing it into the garland bit by bit. You could actually cut this in 2 and get 2 parts to it. Just have a little bit there, a little bit again. Pine cones from the woods, you can buy big bags of pine cones from garden centres. I'm sure cheaper shops will have some certain decorations as well. So that's how you do it from scratch with just your wire. Then every year you have a base, and you'll be able to add to your base for your garland. As I say, this year check out charity shops or your favourite shop that sells things like this for £20 or whatever, because they'll be half price or 70% off after Christmas. You can pick up a good bargain, and then next year you'll just be able to pull these out and add your fresh foliage too, which makes life a lot easier. These are quite messy, they're always shredding all the bits, so you'll have a lot of mess to clear up, but you know, that's it. The enjoyment is there in the crafting and the making, of course, and it's lovely just to sit for half a day or a day making things like this. Very calming, and obviously the creativity is good for your well-being, and it's lovely to say that you've made it, isn't it? So I'm just fluffing out all these now, making sure that they're all sort of pulled out. So it will look a lot thicker when you do this, and then we can start adding fresh foliage to it, and I'll show you how to do that. Again, you need wire. I don't do it until only 2 weeks before Christmas Day, otherwise because it's fresh it tends to dry out and most likely die a little bit early. So if you're somebody who likes to decorate in November, early doors, I'd leave this one, do your tree and everything, but I would wait until probably the 12th of December to do this part of your decoration. So I'll just show you a little bit of my Christmas decorations. Right friends, so I've put the middle of the garland on the table. I'm just going to show you what I've found. So I've been to the woods and I've found evergreen leaves like this, large ones. Got a big bag of those. Then I found these, and oh, I was so lucky, somebody in the woods has been chopping stuff down and made a massive big pile of cuttings that they want to compost down or something. So I managed to get those, didn't even have to cut them and didn't have to do anything, so I was really pleased with that, because look how beautiful that is, really evergreen. So that's going to be fantastic just to get that through, you know. That's what I'm telling you about the garland, you know, get it so beautiful and full with real plants. And then an old favourite of mine, the female ivy. which is fantastic to wrap around and twist into foliage. And also if you happen to get the ivy, the female variety, has these beautiful big flower heads, is it? Beautiful, all wrapped in. They do wither these, but you know, it's a fresh plant. So we're going to start off, and what I want to do is try and get equal part of both of these items, all of these, into the garland. And as I said, what we can do is we can chop them down, we can stuff them in, wire them in, and bind it all together. I'm just going to show you a little bit, and then I'll stop the video and I'll show you further on to see how it's going bit by bit. So what I'm going to do is get my scissors at the ready, wire at the ready. What you can do it two ways with any wreath or garland. You can make little posies, so you can break them down, obviously with an equal amount, and then wire them together. And I do that with short pieces of foliage. I don't want to cut very long ones because that's ideal just to wrap around. Right, so I'm getting quite good lengths of this ivy, and by its nature, as I said, it likes to wrap and cling, doesn't it? We've got something on our barn, and that's all it does, wraps and clings, so I have to keep pulling it off, otherwise it ruins things. So using this garland, it makes it so much easier. Just wrap it round, and you are adding bulk and adding a natural element to this garland. Look out for that lovely one with the female one, like with the berries. What I'm trying to do with this is really bulk it out, because obviously it's a very, very thin bit of garland, isn't it, in its original state. So nice, very, very full and green and natural. Using that wire to secure it in. Don't worry yet if it's all a little bit messy and not even tidy yet, because we're putting lots of foliage in. This is great because obviously it wants to cling, it wants to wrap round, that's its natural thing, isn't it? So keep wrapping it round, twisting round. Right, now I'm starting to put this evergreen in, so just kind of take the branches down a little bit so you've got a good length, and then start placing them in. And this can be nice at the back because again it's a big leaf, it's a good filler, and sometimes at the back it can be a little bit bare and you never know how it's going to fall. If you're going around the door, the back might then become the fronting places because it drapes round, isn't it, the door. So what I tend to do is just put it all over so it bulks it out. You can use anything that's evergreen. If you can get your hand on any berries as well, put some berries in. But I always think try and be a bit mindful, because obviously berries are food for the birds in winter. So I tend to use just only a tiny little bit and put fake berries on. I'm not taking the food source away from the lovely birds and wildlife. If I turn it round and see any little stalk ends, use the wire from this fake garland to secure it in. Otherwise, use your wire that you've got. It's a bit easier though when you've got a fake garland. Like I said before, because it is wired, it can be bent. So it's really good that. Right, so I'm popping foliage in backwards and forward, behind and in front. Because it goes around the door, it's going to get twisted, this you see. And so that's what I'm being mindful about, covering the back. I think what I'm going to do is go around as well with some wire and bind it all in so everything is secure. You need a large table if you've got one. You can do it outside, all the better. It's a mess when you do it. And you do need a lot of foliage. You never know how much to pick. It soon goes though. The good thing about this, it can be very easily recycled into compost in your compost bin after. You do need our man-made materials still, but if you can use them time and time again, that's a bit better, isn't it? I hope you're getting ready for Christmas, and I hope you're really well. Thanks for even being here. It's so lovely that I'm getting a few more subscribers. It does take a long time. It does make you feel a bit happy when you get somebody else subscribing. So thank you to everybody who has subscribed, and please consider subscribing if you haven't. Right, so we're down to this last section now, a bit more of the iving. Then we'll get a nice bit with the berries on as well. Have you got a plan for Christmas? I find that if you plan as best you can tend to be out of the crowds and mayhem. Can't be doing with all that stress and hassle. I will go in the crowds and mayhem for a Christmas market, but not a supermarket. What I tend to do is I buy anything that I can. So I've bought my fresh cranberries and I've got those in the freezer, so I make my cranberry sauce. I've got all my butter and everything. I've made my cake, feeding that every week. If you want to see that video, it's the Nigella Christmas cake recipe that I've done. Now I've not shown it in its finished state because it's not finished until Christmas. Obviously you make a Christmas cake and then you have to feed it on a weekly basis, and then you ice it and decorate it as you wish. So I might do a short near Christmas, but the purpose of that video is to get everyone to get the Christmas cake made now, so that you can decorate it later on. I suppose the thing with YouTube is everything has to be done a little bit more prematurely than one would normally do, because obviously everyone's looking for ideas a lot earlier. So, you know, it's like a supermarket. I suppose they're buying for summer, aren't they now? Or, you know, somebody in the know might say we've already bought for summer, we're on to next Christmas or something. But yeah, one has to be a bit ahead. Check out last year's Christmas video. I've got a Christmas playlist. I'll try and put a link shortly on this video for you of things that we did last year. You can get ahead by making a lot of things now. Christmas puddings. I always made Christmas puddings, but last year I just thought, do you know, I'm not going to bother now. I live in an old Victorian property, Edwardian, not Victorian, and I'm trying to reduce damp really, you know, because these properties are prone to damp. If you're not careful, I try my best not to do a lot of boiling now. So I haven't made my own Christmas pudding. I buy a very, very good one. But I make everything else, and I think Christmas is a time when you really can indulge, because you've got more time, haven't you? You're off work, and so you can try and make a bit more than you would do on probably a daily or a weekly basis. And it's nice to make presents for people as well. Right then, so I think we've pretty much, hopefully, completed this. Although when you bend it, you might find some things that literally move around a bit. So what we need to do now is tie it all in. Otherwise I fear that when it dries out, you're going to fall off bit by bit. If you have the benefit of having a huge long table, it would make it quite a lot easier, I think. I'm going to tie it all in now, so that you've got to be careful, because if you tie it too tight, then it becomes very small and not as, you know, full anymore. So, you know, you need to tie it in, but be a little bit mindful that you want it bushy as well, of course. Just want to show you guys how long this is. I've had to lay it on the floor. This is a massive garland. I would estimate it is going to be roughly, I would say, about 20 foot long. Put it on the floor so I can tie it all in now, so that it gets a bit more thicker. So what I'm going to do now is start putting baubles on and more decoration. So as you can see, what it's ended up with is lots of foliage, and this is all fresh foliage now that you can see. You can't even see any of the faux garland, that was there. There's a little bit there, so I'm going to put some fresh greenery there. Just spotted a bit. But that's all fresh, lovely stuff. Really pleased how it's coming on. Not finished yet, of course. But just go for it, guys, just go for it. have fun. It's really, really good. Make them on yourself. Okay guys, so I don't know if you can see, but I've popped it all on the floor as a sort of an archway, or it could be a long garland, I'm not sure yet. But if I zoom in, you can see it's all now fresh foliage that we're seeing, not the faux garland that's been tied together to make this massive big long piece. And I've popped lots of ivy, Christmas tree, and then winter big green leaves. I'm putting some berries and pine cones on, and I put some cinnamon sticks on in a bit, and then some baubles. Hope you're enjoying this, and I hope it's inspiring you to have a go, because it's really easy. It just takes a bit of time, but it's fun. Why not? Enjoy yourself, do some crafting. Go to the nice Christmas markets, buy some nice gifts, support small local businesses. Just give everybody something small. You don't have to spend a fortune, but you'll help support small businesses as well, because they are struggling compared to the big boys. And you'll make somebody's Christmas if you buy a product off an independent artisan. Okay, so now we need to get some baubles off.